Welcome to Recollections May Vary, a royal recap. I'm Kinsey Schofield here with Maureen Callahan, host of The Nerve with Maureen Callahan. So many people asked me if I'd had a facelift the last time I appeared on your program. So I tried to recreate the makeup and I just look like a hooker. So I
No, stop. You know what people said, which I just thought was wonderful, was like how pretty you are without the makeup, which that's the
Oh,
real flex, Kinsey. That's the
okay.
real flex.
Okay. Thank you so much. Well, I've been watching The Nerve. I love it. I love me some Bill from do we have Bill from Brooklyn t-shirts? Like where does the fan club collect?
We're
Where do we
we're
go?
we are beginning to get our arms around producing merch because the
Okay, good.
audience really wants it, as do I, frankly. But I agree with you. Bill from Brooklyn should have his own t-shirt
Oh my
or a
God.
trucker cap at the
Oh,
very least.
hilarious. Oh, that is so funny. Absolutely. You went in on Lena Dunham recently, which I thought was a fascinating deep dive because how does she continue to get work when the stuff she wrote about her sister in her book was so vile. And you'd think that in this cancel culture happy society that maybe it's expiring in a post-Trump presidency, but you would just think that she'd be so done for based on things that have come out of her own mouth.
I'm just going to reference two. I could go on. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'll reference three.
Yeah.
She wrote about multiple instances in which she sexually violated her younger sister. She has a chapter in her memoir called Barry, in which she falsely accused a real Oberlin classmate of rape. And
Which she
everybody
had to
figured out
apologize about.
she had to
Yeah.
apologize. She's lucky that guy didn't sue her into oblivion. I would have. And then thirdly, she had a writer on Girls. I believe his name was Murray Miller. A young actress accused Murray of rape, and Lena and her then producing partner issued a public letter in which they said they normally believe women all the time, but in this case, they had all the facts and they knew this woman was lying.
Uh, uh,
And she wasn't. In my opinion, she was not. So, how Lena Dunham has not been canceled, aside from the obvious mental disorders on display, it's a panoply. It's a
yeah.
lazy Susan. The mind reels, truly.
Yeah, it does. It's quite concerning. All right, what's coming up on The Nerve? What do you got in store?
So, the episode that dropped yesterday, we are diving into, I have it right here, the new Gwyneth biography,
Ah, yes.
and the fallout for one Ben Affleck, J-Lo's ongoing death jiggle, part two of the Billy Joel doc, a deep dive into his psyche, and Bill Maher's sloppy, sloppy, sloppy interview with said legend, and more stuff. Just really a fun episode.
You know why I think biographies have become so boring
Oh,
lately?
I'd love to know.
I think it's because in this world where you can become a celebrity on your own or an influencer, they
Mhm.
would rather be friends with Gwyneth Paltrow or inch themselves closer to their own celebrity than than say things that might be true but disparaging towards the person that they're writing about.
It's so true. Like, I really long for the golden age of the celebrity biography,
Yeah,
which was
you
like,
mentioned Kitty Kelly in an email to me. Remember her Royals book? Savage. I mean, so savage.
yeah. I mean, she was the one who did her unauthorized biography of Jackie Onassis lit the world on fire. Like, among her revelations was that Jackie had been checked into a mental hospital as a young bride as during her first marriage to JFK and underwent electroshock therapy. And a revelation like that back then was truly something. And then she went on to she did I think we're going to do a deep dive one of these days, her Oprah biography.
Oh, I haven't read
It's
that.
amazing.
I'll add that to my list. Absolutely. Well, you also did something on Oprah recently, and you said, look, Oprah's association with Harry and Meghan has become so much a part of her brand that it's almost obnoxious to go over. Yes, she did. She lost all credibility when she sat down with these two and didn't push back at all.
Mhm.
And Harry and Meghan have been in the news quite a bit over the last, despite Meghan's silence. But don't sit back and get comfortable. Her birthday's coming up, so she's going to have to give us some sort of self celebratory birthday post, I imagine, where she's in the kitchen cooking with her own cake with the kids. I don't know what it'll be. What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room. It's possible when you call American Financing today. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, groceries, gas, bills piling up, you're not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on credit cards, and there doesn't seem to be a way out. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that debt. You need to call American Financing today before you get to a point where you can't make those payments. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans and consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. And their customers are saving an average of $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 raise. It's fast, it's simple, and it could save your budget this summer. Call before it's too late. 866-887-1201. That's 866-887-1201, or visit americanfinancing.net/unfiltered. But let's talk about Harry and Meghan's Netflix deal. So I messaged you, oh my gosh, it's dead. We've suspected that this news was on the horizon. And within days, someone whispers in Daily Mail's ear, it's not dead. Meghan's busy renegotiating. What was your initial thought when you saw the contrasting headlines there?
Well, as ever, Kinsey, that is on brand. We get dropped by a Spotify or a Lemonada or now a Netflix, and or we are excommunicated and gray rocked by the British royal family, and nothing's ever over with those two. It's
Yeah.
always like nothing's dead, no relationship is dead, no business venture is dead, no matter the level of betrayals or really this. Now you're working in the American marketplace, okay? You better bring your A game. You better have something to contribute to the culture. And these two have nothing. I think it's very telling, by the way. This sounds sinister, but you can't put anything past these two. I think they knew that the axe was about to drop from Netflix. And I think it's no coincidence that there have been efforts to hold these summits to make some sort of reconciliation with the British royal family, because that's all they've got to go back out on the open marketplace and sling their wares.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that obvious that the only successful commercial hit they had with Netflix was them talking about the British royal family? So call them up and go, hey, can we have 5? We need some more content, basically, is what that is. Now, I thought that this was interesting. Well, Radar Online says that Netflix barely blinked, that Netflix is not going to miss Harry and Meghan. And honestly, the Netflix is done, they're over it coverage outweighs the there could be some hope there coverage, which I agree. I think that the Sussexes are pushing as a last ditch effort, or perhaps Meghan is trying to negotiate something with Amazon Prime or Hulu, and a story like this might inspire Amazon or Hulu to seal the deal, because there are whispers that the Netflix deal isn't dead. I don't know. I do think it's some type of strategy. But what I thought was so funny, Radar says insiders say Markle and Harry have struggled with creative direction. Putin, the Pope, Harry wanting to sit down with Trump. When it comes to their
Right.
content, one streaming source described the Duchess's show as well lit but flat. Amen to that. While another noted that her and Harry, they're not natural content creators. They're trying to be what they think people want rather than being authentic. I totally agree with that, because you've said it a million times. That marketing podcast that went viral recently said it. Meghan should lean into the B word. Why is
Hmm.
she trying to be the other B word? Stop trying to be Betty Crocker. Be the other B word. You made a name for yourself as being a disruptor.
Right. I mean, I think she really, you know what? It always pops up in my algorithm, Kinsey, and I don't know why, but it's always Megan with Jamie Kern Lima, and it's
Yeah.
always other content creators who are mocking the emissions from one Meghan Markle, telling us all that it's okay if we have failed. It's like she's talking to herself, right? She's trying to self-soothe.
Yeah.
It's okay to fail. Sure, it's okay to fail, but you have to try. And I saw that quote from Netflix about them struggling to create content and then they're trying to be things that they are not. But I actually really think at the end of the day, there is no there. And
Yeah.
it's why Megan struggles. She cannot have a friend into her fake kitchen because she doesn't really have friends, I think.
Yeah.
And she can't have a loose, free-flowing, fun conversation because she's incapable of it, because she's her super ego is constantly clocking every single thing she does and says and how it's coming across. And people can clock that from a mile away. And it's a very disturbing trait, very disturbing. People are repulsed by it.
You're absolutely right. It's the lack of authenticity that just makes you go, I need to turn this off because my body is rejecting it. Now, News Nation is reporting something that I think is pretty interesting. They claim that we should expect a third season of With Love, Meghan. Yes, the contract is done. They're not going to renegotiate a contract even remotely similar to the original contract, but they say that Netflix will attempt to keep Markle around at least for one more season of With Love as part of a piecemeal deal, so it can try once more to make her product line as ever a commercial hit. Markle will be granted a third season regardless of viewership, which blows your freaking mind because don't you need to be seen to sell your slimy jam? As Netflix is invested in making her product line and show a success, it is the first time Netflix has fully produced a product line, and like QVC and Home Shopping Network, sees it as a new cash cow for them, doing shows and selling products from these shows that Netflix manufactures. I'm still surprised at how poorly everything was launched considering Netflix association with it, like to launch season one with no products available.
First of all, I love that phrase you just came up with, slimy jam. And I feel like it should be like a recurring segment whenever we're talking particularly about something it just should be slimy jam. That's the brand. And I agree. I don't understand why a Netflix would continue to throw good money after bad when past is the best predictor of future behavior and performance. We know exactly how this is going to end. It's a matter of how long you want to keep the patient on life support, you know?
Yeah.
And by the way, season two, which is really season 1B,
Yeah.
okay?
Season
It's
one
supposed
after lunch.
isn't that supposed to begin airing like streaming in September or October? And we're hearing no drumbeat building up to it. None.
Right. Right. That's what I was thinking, because I was thinking in the midst of this, okay, we don't have a new season to promote and there aren't any products to promote. It's insane. Why isn't Meghan Markle? Well, why isn't Prince Harry going to do a victory goodbye on Stephen Colbert? He's appeared on Stephen Colbert, but
Great
but
point.
but really with Meghan and these products she's trying to shill, why isn't she doing some of these talk shows that air regularly? I mean, I know some of them are on vacay, and we'll get into The View. I cannot wait to hear your opinion on that. But why isn't she doing the types of shows where she could, like the Today Show, cooking in the kitchen? Here's our favorite breakfast. To slowly build the hype for season two and to build the hype for when there is new product available.
I wonder if she either A, believes such things are beneath her, as in her refusal to do her own ad reads for her
Mm,
podcast, or if she's just such a dud of a guest that, even a booker would look at her and go, it's it's going to be a heavy, heavy lift. She's
yeah.
not really morning show material. Like a morning show person, whether a host or a guest, has to be somebody who you want on your screen, easing you into your day. And her energy is so dark and brittle and humorless. Um, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think the
I
reason
think
is?
it's because she can't guarantee that the people will play along with her. Drew
Mm,
Barrymore, we found out, offered her the questions beforehand to ensure that she
mm.
was comfortable. I think not everybody's going to guarantee that they're going to completely lean in and give them everything that they require for her to feel comfortable in that scenario. Like if she went to do the Today Show, how can she guarantee that somebody's not going to stand outside with a sign that says loose fruit spread? Or, you know what I mean? Or Walmart wallets.
Slimy jam.
Slimy Jam, Walmart Wallace. Like she can't guarantee that stuff. So I think it's a matter of not being able to control the environment. But I
Hmm.
do think that it's a no brainer. Like Jamie Kern Lima, while most of us can't stand her today, most of us know her freaking name now. Like it was, I think, if you believe that all press is good press, and we grew up in the culture that it was all press is good press, Jamie Kern Lima is probably giving herself a high five. What about the reports that Prince Harry is relieved to escape the pressures of Netflix? Prince Harry's happy at the idea of a cancellation. I think I mean, this is a man that had to debate whether or not he was going to do a podcast about hot chocolate, you know?
I I gotta wonder, when I saw those images of Harry recreating his mother's walk through landmines, I think, again, this may sound dark, but I really think this is what's going on, and they're putting themselves out there, so we can talk about it. I think death wish, and I don't know if it's a literal death wish or a figurative one, but every single thing that he has done since getting with Meghan has been a failure. Again, save that one Netflix series where they were talking about how terrible it was to be a royal family, but they'd love to get back in. Okay.
Well, and Spare, but I mean, in
Oh, and
doing
Spare, how
both
could I
of
forget?
those things, what he did was solidify that his older brother, who's going to be king one day,
Hmm.
wants nothing to freaking do with him.
Exactly.
Like, was
Exactly.
it worth the sacrifice? I doubt it.
Was that the subconscious death wish that he was not dialed into? That he was just going to try to
Mm,
burn it all down because he wasn't going to be king, because he was the spare. He could not be happy with his lot in life, no matter what he was given. And now his worst fears are ratified because without the royal family, he does have nothing to offer. And he's
right,
stuck with this.
right. Oh, and we've discussed this a lot. Newsweek is reporting that Meghan Markle is on the verge of being dropped by her agency, William Morris Endeavor. How often are we like, what the heck is William Morris Endeavor doing? What are they doing? Why is everything failing this much? She's supposed to have this team around her of people that are incredibly skilled and know the drill.
Well, this comes on the heels of, I believe it was a few months ago, Page Six broke the news that Ari Emanuel, brother of Rahm Emanuel, who is soft launching a potential run for president, very powerful family, had it with Meghan Markle and was like, she's not on my sheet anymore. She's not on my to-do list. Give her to the lower bottom feeders over here and they can deal with her, the likes of her. She just burns bridges and makes enemies wherever she goes. She was so lucky to have the ear and the help of an Ari Emanuel, and she blew it up.
Mhm.
And I again, I don't know why they're giving sort of long runways for these inevitable goodbyes.
Yeah.
Just issue the humiliation she deserves, Say we're done with her. She's
Yeah.
got no talent and she's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because everyone, no matter what side they're on of the will they, won't they, Harry and Meghan Netflix relationship, says that when this does die, Netflix wants it to go out under the radar. So they did say that there's not going to be a big goodbye party. There's not going to be a press release. Everybody wants to keep it pretty under the radar. You mentioned Meghan burning bridges and really running out of options. Well, Radar's reporting that Meghan Markle begs for new gigs as Netflix deal collapses. Um, I love it that they say she's leaving no stone unturned when it comes to new opportunities, even considering reaching out to The View. I hate that show. They say she's terrified of fading into irrelevance. And this was to Rob Shutter on his Substack. At this point, she'd take a hot topic seat next to Whoopi Goldberg if they let her. She needs a new hit fast. The next chapter could make or break her. We've said that before. It's always like, this is her make or break moment. I feel like she's pretty broken at this point. But the idea of The View, that was her dream 10 years ago. Don't you think 10 years ago she would have loved that? Like when she was sitting across from sweet old Larry King trying to sound relevant when she was promoting Suits. I think she would have loved to be on The View.
Kinsey, I hate to break it to you, but there is only room for one insufferable, humorless, mixed race pain in the ass on that panel and it's Sunny Hostin, and
Oh
she's not
God.
going anywhere
Uh,
anytime soon. I mean, can you imagine the two of them like at the
no.
same table, like just repelling each other? Like, I mean, but that item made me laugh out loud because that is true desperation.
Yeah.
Your last best hope is a seat on The View, like being like a revolving panelist, like one Anna Navarro, and like if you want to survive on a show like that, you have got to come with sharp elbows, uh, and you've got to be ready to offer opinions. And I don't think Megan, she's the kid in the class who never does the reading. She just does not do the work, and she's not compelling viewing. Not even those bitches at The View would be able to make Meghan Markle compelling viewing, I think.
Well, it's interesting because I think that the reason we accepted her, and yeah, she went to a good college thanks to Thomas Markle, her father. You talk about how like Harry and Meghan never want to leave anything. They never want to leave a company, but when it comes to people, see ya. Um, it's that is very true that they always want to look like, oh, we left on good terms with Spotify. They called you effing grifters, girlfriend. It was not good terms. But Thomas Markle knows that they will leave human beings that can't benefit them anymore. Um, they'll burn that bridge. But I don't even know where I was going with this. So I was
The
just having
View.
the view. I was just having a Meghan Markle rant. I think we assumed that Meghan was smart because she was standing next to Harry. And
Oh, so
that's
like
not that's we know he's an idiot, so we just assumed she well. And look at the quotes from Lady Elizabeth Anson, Queen Elizabeth's cousin, who said that they felt like Meghan was strong and Meghan was smart and Harry lacked that. Like we assume she's smart because Harry's just so dumb.
I know, but it's just so much more evidence of, a resume is a resume, a diploma or a degree is just that. And there are plenty of legacy people or people with money who get into these institutions that once you're out would seem to confer, well, she must be smart. She went to Northwestern. She's well traveled. Like, not so. Some of the smartest people I've ever met did not and do not have higher educations. They're autodidacts. They're just curious about the world and other people. They read, they're engaged. And, again, it's like if you're comparing, yeah, like a loaf of bread would look brilliant next to Harry. He's dim. He's as dim as it gets. She's tenacious. I don't think I would use the word strong. I think to be strong, you have to have some self-awareness. And I think you have to have the ability to have humility in taking your licks and admitting your failures and learning from them and trying to grow. And I don't think she has any of those qualities.
Right. Yeah. Strong people don't play victim for 5 years after leaving the British
Exactly.
royal family after branding themselves this big tough feminist. So you're right, actions speak louder than words. Still kind of on the same page of Netflix. Um, the source told Page Six, "Meet me at the lake" will likely not happen. And the reason why I think that whether it happens or not, I think it's important that we acknowledge just the snail's pace that everything Harry and Meghan do. It takes them forever because whenever we talk about, oh, Harry and Meghan's one big hit for Netflix, their one commercial success, it took them 2 years, two different production teams for that to actually finally come to fruition. And then we've got Meet Me at the Lake. They secured the rights to this book years ago to make this a movie. There's no director, no casting calls, no cast. The writer's strike came and gone, came and went years ago. I don't think that there's any excuse. And I looked at Variety, I looked up Carly Fortune on Variety and realized that just a week ago, they announced that they'd already cast this project called Every Summer After, which was announced, its existence was announced in July of 2024. They announced the cast just last week. That book was published in 2022. Why is Amazon Prime able to secure the rights, get the cast together? And I mean, why is Meghan Markle's still in development all of these years later? Doesn't it tell you that they have a very questionable work ethic or they just don't know what the hell they're doing?
I always thought that the way it really went down was they made this big deal with Netflix, and Netflix had a lot invested in making them huge successes. Huge that's a and but they're too dim to realize in their minds, Netflix is lucky to have them, not the
Yeah.
other way around,
Yeah.
right? So then Netflix, while trying to get any number of projects off the ground, says, listen, here's what we'll do. This book seems like it could be perfect for your wheelhouse. We will option it. It'll come out of our bank account. We will option it. We will give it to you. You have this whole team. We'll help you set it up. And they lack the intestinal fortitude or the desire to really make they if other people can do the work, all the better, but they're not going to do the work. And they don't understand how lucky they are to have even one project in development at a Netflix or an Amazon Prime. I can speak from personal experience, having had multiple books optioned. Getting something made is like you are a unicorn if you actually get something made. But can I just ask you, if we're moving off this topic too fast, please redirect me. I'm dying to know your thoughts on this thing that just broke yesterday about Harry going missing in Africa for like 3 days and
Oh,
nobody being able to reach him.
well, what are my thoughts on it? I feel like it's connected to the next story. His Prince Harry visiting with his second mom, secretly meeting with his second mom in Africa without Meghan Markle. So we know that Harry spent over a week without Meghan and the kids. He went to Angola, and then following that, we understand that he went to Botswana, and we believe that he stayed there with this woman he calls his second mother, named Tania TJ Jenkins. Now he says he calls her mom because he's only had one mom. But she really loved on him right after the death of his mother and made him feel like a normal guy. He said she didn't try to change him. He said she looked in Spare. He talks about how she kind of looked at him like he was this wild animal at first, and then just loved on him. And he really just grew to appreciate her. And he calls her mom. Why do we go when we're adults to visit our moms? To lick our wounds. We escape
Hmm.
to our mommy and, to mom and dad's house, and we crawl in their beds and we eat their breakfast because we need to heal from something, because we're feeling lost or we're feeling defeated. Um, and we just need some guidance and some unconditional love. And I think that that's why Prince Harry allegedly disappeared for 3 days because he needed unconditional love and guidance, and he needed to be around somebody that wasn't going to judge him, and he wanted no pressures. um, and I imagine that Meghan Markle is a pain in the ass and is tight all the time, like
Hmm.
worried about something all the time, whether it's an internet comment or her loose fruit spread not being the distributor of her loose fruit spread screwing up, or her website screwing up and selling product that wasn't available. I think he just needed an escape to lick his wounds and to be around somebody that was just going to love him and wasn't going to judge him and was going to allow him to just enjoy the environment.
I think there's so much here I could go into, but the most telling thing to me, I think, is that he went 3 days without allowing Megan to speak to him, right? Or letting her know where he was. Now, if I'm Meghan Markle, I am spiraling out. I am spiraling out because this is the first sign that he will leave if it means he can get back into the royal family.
Right.
He's over there with his surrogate mom, you know, and it's very telling. Again, he's like a 45-year-old man. When you begin to lose your parents as an adult, I think healthy, integrated people make their peace with it. I don't
Yeah.
think they go around shopping for somebody they can call mommy again or daddy again, you know? So he doesn't have a lot of internal resources of his own, but I think this is illustrative of him casting about emotionally for something and someone solid, someone he regards as a grown-up who can parent him, who can take care of him. And he wants it so badly from his dad. And it's unclear whether he's going to get it. And the clock is ticking because once he loses Charles, King Charles, that's it for him and Meghan. There's no, the door is firmly bolted shut by one King William.
Yeah, and I remember being told that Meghan was really a maternal figure to him, that she
Mm.
treated him like a baby and that she, was just very affectionate. And I know it through my own family, like some men feel abandoned when the children come along because that energy shifts. And now she's juggling these children that are running around and need that attention. So does he feel like he's not getting that attention that he fell in love with, that really gave him this comfort that he needed at the height of the chaos when he gave the royal family the finger and took off? Is that attention gone? And is that why he's running off to this other figure who he, feels gives him this type of love and affection that he needs? But yeah, I mean, he claims he never had that type of love from King Charles. But if you go back and read other people's diaries, whether it's the housekeeper that used to work within the family when Princess Diana was still alive, look at photos and images, just like you told Oprah Winfrey, like he's so happy he can ride around on his bike in Montecito with his kids. First of all, we've never seen that. But second of all, and he made it, the way he said it was like dismissing his father. There are literally images of him and King Charles riding around on their bicycles. So we know that that in fact did happen despite Prince Harry dismissing it. So I think he's got a really warped version of the past because it justifies his actions and it justifies this anger he feels towards them around Meghan. But I can tell you, and I told you this yesterday, my sources are saying that Meghan is already anxious about the royal reconciliation. There are reports that she encouraged it simply because they know that they need that proximity to the British royal family to continue to function. But what I'm hearing is that she's anxious about the idea of the royal reconciliation because she's fearful that they will try to push her out and that they will try to get in between her and Prince Harry. Why are you fearful of that if nothing is already going on that you feel is interfering with your relationship with your husband? If you're still in your honeymoon phase, like you told Jamie Kern Lima, that's not on your radar.
Oh, 100%. I mean, first of all, what you just said about Harry possibly being aggrieved and feeling boxed out because now Meghan has three children.
Yeah.
But the smaller ones really do need that attention and and Harry cannot be privy to that anymore. He cannot be the recipient. And of course, what does he do? He goes and flounces off to another continent. Again, past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. And I think the entire world got the memo that if Harry wants any chance at a royal reconciliation, it is going to be sans Meghan Markle. They do not want her around, her stink cloud of darkness and exploitation and frankly cruelty, the woman who made the remaining days of Prince Philip on his deathbed, squawking to Oprah, they're racists. I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. Or, the late Queen Elizabeth, she made their lives a misery towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
And in Spare, he opens with a private summit, a private walk. Harry, then Prince Charles, Prince William, and William and Harry begin arguing. And what does Prince Charles say that he memorialized in print? Boys, please do not make my final years a misery.
Yeah. And there it is. And a part of me wonders if this trip to Angola and Botswana is some real guilt he's feeling about Senegale. Now, I know Botswana is 400 miles from Lesotho, but Dr. Sophie Shandaka did say when she was doing the media rounds, like a boss,
Mm-hmm.
that Prince Harry visited in 2024, but prior to that, he hadn't been there in 6 years. And one government official was like, yeah, Prince Harry has become so much less enthusiastic and involved since he married Meghan Markle. And it's really negatively affected our charity and the interest in our charity, Harry's lack of involvement since he married Meghan. So a part of me wonders if he's really feeling guilty about it never looked great for him, the loss of Senebale, this charity that he created for his mother in his mother's memory. And PR wise, I think Sophie Shandaka dominated and came out looking like the winner or the toughest one. And I wonder how much the loss of that charity has affected his mental health.
That's a great point because as you said, it's not just the loss of the charity, it's something that he attached his mother's memory to. So that's going to be feelings of yet more loss, abandonment. He was repudiated on the world stage by Dr. Sophie Chandaka, who went to outlets who took her, which means they took her claims very seriously. She wasn't talking to Us Weekly, she was talking to the Financial Times.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know, so what he's attempting to do, and we've heard these rumblings that the next Invictus Games that King Charles is considering attending, considering giving his stamp of approval and a way back in potentially. Invictus is really all Harry has left. And I'm remembering the last, was it the last one in Canada? I'm not sure, but Meghan left early. And of course
On like Valentine's Day. And you're like, why would you leave your husband on Valentine's Day? Isn't that when you're supposed to get weird? Like, isn't that when all the good stuff's supposed to come out?
Yeah, and all the rumors were she had been asked to leave, that her behavior was so unbearable. And of course, whether it's true or not, it's absolutely believable.
Yeah.
That's the narrative I would take. All you have to do is go on Instagram and look at any number of memes that go around, which one popped in my algorithm the other day. Remember at the polo match when I believe they were awarding, was it Nacho Figueres or someone, the big prize, and she kept trying to grab it.
Oh my gosh.
And the player was like, no, it's mine. I earned it. Get out of here, lady. And then she's like, well, I got to get myself in between you and Harry. Like, I got to get in the center of this shot. And they're trying to box her out, but she will not be stopped.
Oh, that came up in mine too.
Wild.
It's like, so somebody sent that to me and they said, is this real? I was like, unfortunately, it is so real. Like, you can't even make this up. You cannot make this up, how uncomfortable she looks, how out of place she looks. And to your point, because Meghan says during the Oprah Winfrey interview, I mean, it's like the Bible. We quote it all the time. She says in the Oprah Winfrey interview, like, I had to learn the national anthem on my own. Really, is God Save the Queen? Like you really have to study that hard. But when she was talking about how she had to study all these things on her own, to your point, you were saying like she was the kid in school that never read the assignment. She should have studied what the wife does at the polo event. And she not only should she have studied that, looking at videos online or whatever, she should have then gotten everybody together and said, I just want to confirm that it's okay that this is what we do in the next few minutes. And that's what Dr. Sophie said too. Dr. Sophie was like, she showed up at the polo event, demanded this, demanded that, was unfriendly. And that's where things went south for both of them. And Dr. Sophie's associates and her people that were willing to speak on the record were like, it was the fallout with Meghan Markle that ruined all of this for Harry and Dr. Sophie.
I want to take that in three parts. Now, first of all, I had to memorize the national anthem, God Save the Queen, on my own and learn this stuff on my own. As an actress, I can tell you, you learn your lines and you take direction and you understand what blocking is and you hit your marks. And if so, you cannot be an actress and memorize lines and then say, I have to memorize something on my own. Like, yeah, you do. Yeah. And, the thing about the polo match, it's like, I don't even think you need to study necessarily what the wives of the players or the patrons do. I think you just need to be a normal human being who's like, I got no business on that stage. I wasn't in the match. I have nothing to do with this. Let them have their moment.
Well, the problem is that royal wives do. Remember Princess Diana? Well, first of all, my favorite picture of Princess Diana with the polo trophy, James Hewitt's in it. But
Yes.
Princess Diana was always there to present the trophy. And Catherine, the Princess of Wales, if she's there, she wasn't at Prince William's last polo event, but if Catherine's there, she presents the trophy. So this is Meghan continuing to try to perpetuate her royal story, despite the fact that the royals are racist and she hates them. The Duchess of Sussex wants to present the trophy to the people instead of allowing Dr. Sophie to do it because this is her charity.
But what's funny about that, and I would encourage anyone listening or watching this to go pull that clip up because it is so wild. The trophy is already in the polo player's hands.
Yeah.
She's trying to take it out of his hands. Give it to me. Give it to me. I am the star. It's so Norma Desmond. It is so Norma Desmond. And then the thing that you mentioned about the polo event where Dr. Sophie was finally like, what is up with this trick? What is up with her? She originally said, no, I am not attending this party, this event, whatever. And then at the last minute, my theory was her BFF, Serena Williams said, hey, I'm up for it. Let's go. And she wanted to show off her best friend, famous, legendary, her one friend who we've not really seen much of lately. So she was like, hey, guess what? I'm coming. Make room for me. Give me that VIP suite. She waltzes in past everybody, doesn't acknowledge them, and is like, where's my chilled champagne?
Yeah.
And was this not like a charity event?
Yeah, no, that was insane. This is totally unrelated, but I do have a pitch for you for the Nerve. Kind of
please.
unrelated. So when we were talking about Harry and Meghan and, her taking care of the kids, I was also thinking like, of course, you and we love our dogs. So our dogs get the equal amount of attention as like children. I think you have to do a deep dive on the Nerve about where Meghan Markle's dog is. The dog she abandoned to move to London for Prince Harry. The dog that she fought the charity for. So she goes to the story goes that Meghan was at an event, like a get your picture taken here foster event for dogs, where Ellen DeGeneres was also there working. It was a PR move, but Ellen was like, you really should have this dog. And Meghan knew that would be a great story if she had this dog that Meghan thought, or that Ellen suggested she take, because then she could tell everybody, yeah, well, Ellen DeGeneres suggested I get this dog.
Yes.
And so she fights like hell to get this dog. It writes because somebody else wanted it. Actually, it's Sally Bedell Smith's son has its brother.
What?
And yes, I know. So I met the dog. So Sally Bedell Smith's son has the other brother, and at one point Sally Bedell Smith's son and Meghan Markle had like a play date with the dogs. But I know it's like a small world. But so she has all of her friends. She writes the rescue and is like, I'm on Suits. Like she's desperate to get this dog, and she's like trying to play the "Do you know who I am" card. She CCs all of her friends, and one of the friends is the one that spoke out after she broke up with Trevor because she was annoyed by this. She CCs all of her friends because she wants all of her friends to then pile on and go, you have to give her this dog. She gets this dog, and then when the dog, I don't think the dog liked Harry. I think that's what it was. At the end of the day, the dog didn't like Harry. They said that the dog became more aggressive because of Harry's presence. So she leaves the dog in Canada with a mystery friend. And we have no idea where this dog ended up, if it's still alive, what's going on with this dog in Canada. But that's what kills me when she tries to play like like Betty Crocker in the kitchen with her puppy. She's such a good dog mom. She's such a good mom. It's like, you abandoned your dog in a foreign country for your man. You're telling me that you didn't have enough property, or you couldn't have had a lady in waiting keep your pup somewhere close to you if you were really concerned about it going after Prince Harry in the UK. She just abandoned it in a foreign country.
First of all, listen to your dogs. They're never wrong about people. Secondly, Andy Cohen did the same thing. He got rid of his dog when he had kids, when he got his children. The dog he used to just lionize every night on his show, and he had like a stuffed animal version of the dog that would be on his set. That dog went adios. Thirdly, I would like to, I think that the dog on With Love, Megan, in that kitchen, came out of central casting and was medicated. I think that dog was sedated because you can't, she's got to control everything, and she can't have a dog running around that kitchen trying to get to the food. Ask Megan Kelly when we did our version. Her dog was all over that counter.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so but okay, I would like to put out, this is an excellent suggestion, Kinsey, excellent, and I would like to put out an all points bulletin to your audience, and I will do so on the Nerve on Friday. Anyone who has any information, we are opening the tip line now. Email me. I am Maureen at devilmaycaremedia.com. If you have any information, I will keep you confidential. You'll be in the equivalent of the witness protection program, but we are going to find that dog.
Isn't it so sad? I could freaking never. I go on a work trip and I have to FaceTime with my dogs.
I get it. Sometimes I'm like, it's good to have a break, but I was just thinking this morning, like the gift of dogs truly is that like they're always 2 years old. Like they're forever 2 years old. So they never get bratty. You don't have to go through like a teenage phase or a young adult phase, or are they out doing drugs or, with the wrong crowd. They're just 2 years old. They just want to love you. They're the best.
They are.
Yeah, she's a monster. Meghan Markle is a monster. That right there tells you everything you need to know about her. She claimed at the time when she was flying over to London to begin her entree into royal life formally, that the dog was somehow sick or didn't have the right vaccinations and she had to leave him behind, but she'd come get him, and then the dog just disappeared.
Right. Yeah. And that's totally unacceptable. And you're right. It tells us everything we need to know about her. Agree with us, disagree with us. Do you love dogs too? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Maureen Callahan. I was watching The Nerve while doing my makeup. I'm going to hang up with you and go watch more of The Nerve. So I feel like this is a pretty Maureen Callahan packed day for me, and I'm into it.
Wow, what a compliment. Well, that is such high praise. We can't wait to have you back on the show, and we're planning a very special event in September that you have graciously agreed to be a part of, and it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait till we can spread exactly the word about what it is, like Slimy Jam.
Slimy Jam.
Slimy
yeah,
Jam.
I probably need more details on that as well, so I can be mentally prepared. All right,
You got it.
Spanx prepared, I should say. Nice pair of Spanx. All right, I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Kinsey.